You might notice I trimmed about 3.5 inches off my beard, but don't worry about it. Don't let it bother you, because when you come here, you're still going to see the same crazy bastard that you expect to see.
What's a love and it was a gas? Soon turned out to be a pain in the ass. Seemed like the real thing, only too far. Much in its past, lost gone behind.
I've been reading over on the, welcome back by the way, thank you for coming back, I appreciate it. I've been reading over on Facebook groups again, and people talking about guitar radius and compound radius. And I get a lot of questions about that too, so I thought I'd do a video about that, just on radiusing guitars and compound radiusing and how I do it. And you know, I use 3 different blocks for that. You take like a 16 all the way down to a, what is that, 7.2. 7.2 is quite a bit of radius, 7.25 is quite a bit of radius in a guitar. The way our hands are made, you know, they kind of curl around the neck and the strings anyway. So a lot of people likes to have a lot of radius up here at the nut, and as if they play rhythm, that's fine. All the way down, which most guitars are the same all the way down, except for compound radius. But you know, it makes it easier to get your hand around a chord or play bar chords or whatever up here at the nut. But if you're soloing, as you come down, you like for the radius to be less. And that's exactly what I'm going to explain here. If you have a whole lot of radius, if you had that 7 1/4 radius way down here past the 12th fret, and you bend the string, that string that you're not going to bend that string very far, and it's going to choke out on the next fret because of the radius being so much. You know, it's really low action. So that's why some guys and ladies like compound radius, because it's got a lot of radius up at the nut. It gradually gets flatter as you come down the neck. I'm going to show you. I'll bring the camera over here and show you how I do it. I got a fretboard here we can use. Just a fretboard. I don't remember what I took it off of. But anyways, oh yeah, that was a truss rod job, and I made a fretboard for that guitar. I remember now. It was that, I forget the name of the guitar, but it was a Tony Rice look-alike guitar. It likes the sound hole. Ibanez, I'm thinking, maybe it was. I don't know. Anyways, I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you. And bring you over here and show you how I do it. Hold on. In case you can't tell on the camera, I'm sure you can, but this is the end of the nut and the end far in the fretboard closest to the bridge, okay? And this is a 20 fret fretboard. If you are doing a 22 or even 24 fret, and you've even got that much more room to work, alright? So here's what I do. You want a lot of radius up here, and you want it to gradually get flatter as you come down here, so if you bend strings, they won't choke out. So I take, this is a 7 1/4 inch, and I work this area up here, the first few frets. I'm not going to count how many frets, I don't care how many, because different number of frets, this changes a little bit. That's a 7 1/4, 7.25, this is a 12. We're going to put it right about the center of the fretboard. And this is a 16. We're going to put it on the very end of the fretboard. Line them up and put this one in the center of those two. Just put these two on the ends of the fretboard, and then put the middle block in the middle of these two. Okay? And you can see the space here. This space, both of those spaces, are our transition areas. Okay? I can work this first block all the way down to that block, you know, count the frets and see where that block sets at. After you do that, it sets on the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th fret. Okay, so I can use this block all the way down to the 6th fret, and I can put that 7 1/4 inch radius in those frets. Now remember, with this middle one, you don't want to come up here, you know, where this fret, the first 3 frets is what that's covering up. So we don't want to touch that with this. We want to use this block to come from where it's setting against the block like that, or against the 3rd fret, because that's how many frets this covers, not including the 3rd fret. And you're going to work from there down to the fret where this block sits. What is it? 10, 12, 14th fret. Okay, so we're going to work all the way from this area, from the 4th fret, all the way down to the 14th fret with this block. Okay, then we're going to take this block, and work it all the way up to where, let's see, 12, 11, this block sits on the 10th fret. Okay, we can touch that 10th fret because all these are going to remain the same. They're going to remain 12 radius. But you don't want to go any farther than that. You understand what I'm saying? And then I did this many times, never have ever had a complaint. It works beautifully, man. And if you solo, then you still got, nice radius up here, and decent radius here for still playing chords or soloing. And you get down here where you really bend them strings hard, they won't bottom out on you on the next fret. That's why I always use these shorter blocks, by the way. You can get radius blocks that are already compound, for whatever you want. You just tell them the number you want at the nut and number you want on the last fret, and you can buy radius blocks that's already, you just run the whole block over the neck and you're done. I don't have one of those, and I see a lot of people use this blocks that are one block. It's the size of both of these. I've got a bunch of those, but I prefer these little ones for everything, man. They're just handy. If you want to do compound radiusing, you can, and it's easy to do. And like I say, I've never had any complaints, but that's the way I do it. And for those of you who wanted to know, that's the way I do it. Hold on. I hope I explained that well enough. Just remember, if you're using 3 blocks the way I do, don't use a block on frets that another block sits on. The ones in between the blocks, like I showed you, put 2 on each end, 1 on each end, and 1 in the center. The frets that are exposed, that's your transition area. Both of those blocks should go over those frets that are exposed. So you have to count the frets, because different fretboards, different number of frets depending on the scale length and all that. But it works good. I've never had any trouble or complaints, like I said, and it'll work for you. I want to make a little announcement here. First, I'm going to say thank you all for the get well wishes you sent in Facebook, PMs, and emails. And I appreciate that, guys. That's heartwarming, and I appreciate it big time. Thank you. Also wanted to say about all these messages. I logged on to Facebook today. I'll just give you an example. I logged on to Facebook today, and just since yesterday, I had 300 and I can't remember. It was over 320 messages, PMs. It's impossible to respond to that many. Now, that's not counting the emails. I didn't count the emails. I can't remember how many of those there were, but there's a bunch of them. They always are. So if I don't reply to your message, please don't get PO'd at me, because I can't do it, man. I do read every one of them. And if you want me to work on your guitar, put guitar repair in the subject or the very first word said in that message. I'll see that, and more likely we'll get to work on your guitar. But wow, yeah, I couldn't believe that. 327. I'm thinking that's what it was. I know it was 320 something. There's no way, baby. Anyone could respond to that. I use my phone a lot. I can talk into it, and it converts what I say into text. And I do use it a lot because it's fast. But even doing that, I couldn't reply to that many messages. Wow. But keep them coming. I appreciate it. Like I say, I read every one, and I love hearing from you all and what's going on in your world. And I just enjoy reading them, so keep them coming, and just don't get mad if I don't reply, though. I see something behind me in that camera monitor flashing on and off. Poltergeist, maybe. Anyways, that's the way I do the compound radius, and hope it answers the questions that you all had. Thanks for watching. Thanks for all the messages, and thank you all for the get well. Hope you're doing okay and back on track soon messages. There was a ton of those. I should have counted those. Wow, there was a bunch of them. Thank you for them. I appreciate it, and I'll see you on the next video. Oh yeah, one more thing I wanted to mention. If you get a friend request from me on Facebook, look at it and make sure it's really me, because I guess there's some jerks going around requesting people to be their friends, and they're setting a Facebook account up that looks just like mine. You can tell if it's mine or not for real, but if you get a request from me, just make sure it's from the real me and not one of these fake accounts that someone's doing. They're looking into it. Facebook's looking into it now, finding out who is doing that. They can get their IP addresses and go right to the address that was logged on to that IP at that timestamp. But I wanted to mention that because a lot of people's been telling me they've been getting friend requests from me, and we're already friends, you know. Some of them were not, I guess, but a lot of them was, and they told me about it. So anyways, wanted to mention it. If you get a friend request from me, deny it. Unless you know it's the real me. And then you might want to deny that too. Cheers!